Good morning. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope everyone is enjoying Wimbledon. I'm sure we're in for a fantastic second week. Just before I get into today's video, I did plan on releasing this video a little bit earlier, but the rain meant that a lot of the matches went late last night, and also the Euros are on in which England were playing. So just managed to record this morning before they start. And finally, if you would subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. I do hope to work in tennis media one day. I'm using this channel to try and improve my skills, try and improve my knowledge of tennis, interview some players, build a portfolio of work. So if you could just take a couple of seconds to subscribe, it means I can spend more time making videos and have a greater portfolio of work when applying for jobs. So thank you very much if you have subscribed, and please do if you haven't. Right, jumping into today's video, we have the women's last 16, my previews and predictions video. I will try and spend 1.5 to 2 minutes on each match just because there's 8 to go through. Don't want to make the video too long. So kicking things off with Britain's Emma Raducanu against Sun, the qualifier. And just starting with Raducanu, she was a player that said she would be happy to get past the first round. We know Raducanu missed the entirety of the grass season last year, having multiple operations. She's since returned this year and had some decent results, beating, Garcia at the Billie Jean King Cup. She beat Jessica Pegula, her first top 10 win on grass leading up to Wimbledon. But her performances have certainly surprised me and probably herself as well and the team. Beating Elise Mertens 6-1, 6-2. Maria Sakkari, 9th in the world, 6-2, 6-3. It looks like a run that Raducanu had at the US Open, and she's serving, returning excellently well. And when she does that, she's such a natural player. She's got a great drop shot, great backhand down the line, the support of the British crowd, and she's really thriving. And Raducanu is playing the best tennis I've seen since the US Open, and she's a real danger in the draw now. She's capable of beating anyone, in my opinion. With the support of the British crowd, she handles the pressure, having won the US Open at such a young age as a qualifier. And I think that performance against Sakkari, when she was super aggressive, she was on top of the baseline, finding the corners, she was attacking the net. It was a super performance, and a performance that was as if to say, I'm here to win this title. We know she's withdrawn from the doubles now with Andy Murray. A wise decision, in my opinion. She's come back from multiple surgeries. She's very capable of winning this title now. The draw's opened up with the withdrawal of Sabalenka. Swiatek's out. Emma Raducanu can win Wimbledon singles this year, and she needs to prioritise that. So it was the right decision, in my opinion. Moving on to Sun, she's not a player that I've seen a lot of, being brutally honest. Beating Zheng is a fantastic win. She was one of my outside picks to win the Wimbledon title with the quality that she has. She's came through qualifying, hasn't dropped many sets at all. She's got the opportunity of a lifetime facing Raducanu. She's got nothing to really lose. Being a qualifier, she's already done fantastically well. She is an unknown quantity as well, which can present its difficulties. Raducanu probably hasn't seen a lot of her pre-Wimbledon, so it could take her a few games to figure it out. But I think Raducanu is riding a real wave at the moment. She's playing so well, and I can't see that stopping anytime soon. I think it's going to be taking a special performance to beat Raducanu at Wimbledon now, and I'm not sure his son's going to be capable of that. So I'm going to go Raducanu to win this one in straight sets. Moving on now to Paolo Badosa against Donna Vekic, and I'm really happy for Paolo Badosa because she came on the scene, flew into the top 10. She looked like a player that was going to excite the tennis fans and win majors potentially. And she suffered a potentially career-ending injury last year, and she's really struggled with it. But what I've seen this week from Badosa, I think it's certainly hardened her. I think when you come through something like that, you almost feel invincible on the tennis court, and you just feel thankful and grateful that you'll be able to compete. She's been behind in sets this week, and Kalinskaya was a fantastic win, particularly when she was down in that third set. I don't think she's got the ideal game style for grass, but she does have a strong serve. She's playing aggressive. She's really attacking the net. She's shortening the points. And, Badosa's a player with a huge amount of talent. And this Wimbledon might come a little bit too soon for a post-injury. But if she can get deep in the draw, then you certainly wouldn't write her off. Donna Vekic is a player that is very comfortable on the grass. She's 6 finals on the surface. She's naturally, I think, more aggressive than Badosa. Badosa tends to use more variety, try and extend the points. Vekic is a player that, particularly with the forehand and serve, likes to shorten the points, really come in, be aggressive. And she's a confidence player. I think when Vekic is playing the best tennis, she's actually a very good player. I don't think she's got the greatest technique on the tour, so if Badosa can perhaps extend the points, get Vekic on the defensive side, then she might be able to extract errors. But so far, Vekic has had a very good week. This is a super close match. I can see really going either way. But I'm going to go Vekic in 3 sets just because I think she's a little bit more suited on the grass and perhaps her body's a little bit more robust and used to playing tennis at the moment than Badosa, who's returning off a long injury layoff. Moving on out to Jasmine Paolini against Madison Keys. And I think, Paolini is one of the most informed players in the world at the moment, has made a top 10 debut, obviously done very well at the French Open, made the semi-final at Eastbourne in the lead up to Wimbledon as well. Yet to drop a set. I think that win over Andreescu was a fantastic win and sort of signified her form at the moment. I would have favoured Andreescu on grass in that matchup, but, for Paolini to come through that 7-6-6-1 is a fantastic result. She's had some great wins this week. She's riding a real wave. And what I've been impressed with Paolini, that she's transformed her form over different surfaces. And I think she's got a real great mindset. She's tactically very good. She mixes up her variety. She's obviously got that fantastic forehand, but she's got a great backhand slide. She's very good at taking pace off the ball. She's very good at just disrupting players' rhythm and extracting errors. And she's a player full of confidence. I think when you're in that winning form, you almost feel invincible. And she's playing undoubtedly the tennis of her life. And, this is a difficult matchup for her, I feel, on grass. Moving on to Madison Keys, I think she's been, a maybe player throughout her career. Whenever I watch Madison Keys, you wonder how she's never won a Grand Slam. She's without doubt got the talent, in my opinion. But mentally, she can throw in very poor performances, where she just doesn't look quite ready on court or quite there to win a match. And she's got a very good game style for grass, and this draw has opened up now with the, Sabalenka and Swiatek obviously being out. It's there for somebody new to win, whether that's a Gauff, a Keys, a Raducanu. She's got a very powerful serve, flat ground strokes, and she can blow anyone off the court in a day. And I think this one, if Madison Keys turns up and serves and returns well and looks to get in the front foot and sort of try and bully Paolini, who isn't as powerful, then I think, Keys can win this one in 3 sets. But if Keys isn't at her best and she's a little bit wayward with the forehand, which we've seen before in the past, and Paolini can extend the rallies and not give Keys the same look, maybe take pace of the ball, try and keep it down as low as possible, then Paolini's capable of winning this one. But I think on the grass, you've got to make Keys a slight favourite in this one. Moving on now to Coco Gauff against Emma Navarro. And Coco Gauff is just becoming more and more consistent and reliable with every passing Grand Slam. In my opinion, she's one of the favourites to win this slam now. She probably was many people's picks pre-Grand Slam. I picked Sabalenka, not knowing that she was going to withdraw with the shoulder injury. But if you can see Coco Gauff's form there at the moment, albeit she hasn't had the greatest of tests, and she's going to have to come through a lot tougher tests to win this Wimbledon title. But losing 3 games against Dollarhide, 3 games against Tadoni, 4 games against Kartal, she's dominating at the moment. Losing just 10 games in 3 rounds is exactly what you want to do. Saving as much energy as possible for those later rounds and tougher tests. I do think grass suits Coco Gauff. Many people think hard courts are her best surface, and that's something I'd probably say as well. But grass is a surface that I think she can improve on and sort of dominate on in years to come. She counter punches exceptionally well. Her athleticism and speed is just such an advantage on this court. A lot of the women's tennis players now, when you look at Sabalenka, Rybakina, Vekic, players that are very tall and perhaps don't have the best movement, particularly down low and getting to the net. But Gauff's got that speed and athleticism and real power off the back foot. That gives her a huge advantage at Wimbledon in being able to return balls and get balls back in court that other players necessarily wouldn't. She's winning very comfortably at the moment. She's full of confidence. And I think, if Coco Gauff serves well, she's able to dictate rallies, and, she's very difficult to take points in games off. Emma Navarro is a player that I think she should ensure a lot of extended rallies. She's got great variety, slice, creativity. You don't see Navarro, give many balls the same to her opponent. She's very crafty. She's got, very technical shots. She's very good tactically as well, in my opinion, which is why we've seen her break through this year and have some very good results. Beating Naomi Osaka at Wimbledon can only give a huge amount of confidence. We know Osaka, a multiple Grand Slam champion, to turn up with a Grand Slam and beat Osaka in straight sets is a real, eye opener in the draw. She's had experience in centre court now, beating Osaka, so this is a matchup that she probably, she won't be frightened of. She'll have seen a lot of Gauff, although Gauff will enter this match as a favourite. I think Navarro is full in form, very confident in herself. She's had a great year. She's not got the expectation that Gauff has on her shoulders, and it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go Gauff in straight sets. I think they might be very close sets, but I think Gauff just having a little bit more experience, more wins in 2024, and being the more reliable player and the player that I've seen more of. I'm going to go Gauff in straight sets. Moving on now to Putintseva against Ostapenko, and this is going to be a great match. Putintseva with obviously the upset of the championship so far against Iga Swiatek, the world number one. For me, it wasn't as a huge shock. I thought Swiatek would probably come through, but we know Swiatek's never particularly been comfortable on the grass, and having won Madrid, Rome, and French Open, she must be exhausted. To win 3 clay court tournaments back to back is such an incredible feat that I don't think is being given enough credit. And she must be exhausted coming to Wimbledon, coming against Putintseva, who gets a hell of a lot of balls back in court, got great variety, was full of form herself. Then it was always going to be a difficult matchup for Swiatek. Putintseva won Birmingham on grass coming into this, beat Ayla Tomljanovic in the final. She played a great match in that one that I watched. She's switching the game up very well. She's making a high percentage of first serve, which is allowing her to dictate rallies, but she's also hitting, lots of winners. She's got great variety, defense. She's full of belief, as I mentioned there. She's a real fighter on the court. She's also very, very quick. Although she's short, allows her to get a lot of balls back in court. She never gives up on any ball. And she makes you pay the extra shot, which is why we've seen Putintseva. She's on a great win streak. Beat Angelique Kerber, Siniakova, Swiatek. That's a tough draw. So for her to come through that, she must fancy going deep into this tournament. Jelena Ostapenko is another player, a little bit like Madison Keys, where if she's on form, she's very difficult to stop, but she can throw in a very poor performance every now and again. You can see from the results so far, Tomljanovic was in good form coming into this, won just 3 games. She lost 3 games in the second round, 4 games against Bernarda Pera. Great results. She can out-hit anybody when she's clear-minded. She's focused on the job. She's firing the forehand and serve down like she can. She's very, very difficult to stop. She's a huge ball striker. She's suited at Wimbledon. She's suited to the grass when it's fast and suits flat hitting players. This is a tough one. It's a game of can Ostapenko out-hit Putintseva, or can Putintseva extract errors and perhaps disrupt the rhythm of Ostapenko and frustrate her at times, which you can see Ostapenko fall guilty of. I am going to just go Ostapenko in 3 sets. I think Putintseva, when you get a win over world number one, it's sometimes hard to follow up that performance with another great one. And I think on grass, you've got to favour Ostapenko with the bigger ground strokes, but that's going to be a very close one and one that I'm very much looking forward to watching. Moving on now to Danielle Collins against Barbara Krejcikova. And this is Danielle Collins' last year on the tour, and she's going out in style for sure. Won in straight sets in every round so far. She's having a superb final season on all surfaces. She's transformed on the grass with great wins. Yet to drop a set. I did watch Danielle Collins in Rome, and I was very impressed. She's clearly enjoying the tennis. She trusts the game. She's playing very well. She's full of fight. Some players, when they're in a farewell final year, you can see them go out with a little bit of a whimper, but Danielle Collins is doing anything but. She's fighting for every ball. She's celebrating with real enthusiasm, which is great to see when she wins. And she's come through some tough matches. Haddad Maia is a very capable player on grass. To come to that 6-4 and 6-4 is a great result. Barbara Krejcikova is a player that I haven't seen much of, being brutally honest, this Wimbledon. I think there's that many players to watch, and the the Euros are on, it's difficult to sort of tune into all the matches. From what I've seen from the stats, she hasn't been serving particularly well. She's hit a lot of double faults, but she is a player that I highly rate. You know, when she made that breakthrough a few years ago, she was a player that I thought would be consistently around the top 5, but she has dropped off a little bit. So it's nice to see her returning to the last 16 and hopefully the back end of majors. I think she's a player that's mentally very strong. She's technically sound. She's got very solid ground strokes and forehand and backhand. She's tough to beat. She's a real fighter on the court, and you've really got to break Barbara Krejcikova down. She doesn't give a lot away. And this one's going to be a real war of attrition. I do think Collins will win in 3 sets. I think she's a more informed player. She's probably trusting the game a little bit more than what Barbara Krejcikova is at the moment, with Krejcikova struggling on serve. And I think the fact that Collins, it is her last Wimbledon, she will want to be going out with a bang, and I'm going to pick her to win this in 3 sets. Moving on now to Elina Svitolina against Wang. And Svitolina beating Ons Jabeur was a match that I unfortunately missed, but what a fantastic win. I think Svitolina's been one of those maybe players over the past few years when you watch a player with all the fight and determination and skill that she's got, and you wonder again, she's never reached a Grand Slam final. She's 29 now. Perhaps this can be the year. That's a huge win over a 2-time finalist in Ons Jabeur at Wimbledon. It looked like a match that I saw in the stats and read up about that she just took her chances. There was very few break points. I think Svitolina won 2 out of 2, saved 3 out of 3, which was the ultimate difference. To hold serve throughout and not get broken by a player with the unorthodox style in Jabeur is a huge feat. And Svitolina is a player that I've thoroughly enjoyed watching for many, many years. You know, she's such a competitor. She loves the sport. And I don't think she's ever really found her best in quarterfinals or semi-finals and majors for whatever reason. But I would love to see her make a breakthrough. And Wang is a player that I watched yesterday against Harriet Dart. I think she's suited to the grass. In the first 2 rounds, she attacked the net a lot, which is obviously a good tactic. Wimbledon, keeping the point short. And she's got very good hands. I saw that yesterday against Dart. Whenever she was around the net, she looked very accomplished. Single or double-hander. She's a real fighter as well. You know, she was 3-0 down yesterday in the deciding set up against Dart, who's obviously had the backing of the British crowd, and she just went big. I think she took a lot of risks in that deciding set, and she turned it round, hit lots of clean winners. She forced Dart into errors, and she closed out the match very, very well. Fully deserved that win. And Wang's one of those players that sort of creeps through the door without anyone really knowing who she is. She's a very, very talented player. She's technically brilliant, and she's a huge danger to all. I think Svitolina might just have the slight edge. She's got a little bit more experience on the short court. She's done well at Wimbledon in the past. She's a real competitor, a little bit more solid on serve, in my opinion. We've seen, you know, Wang be broken quite a lot in these championships. It's going to be a very tough match and a great one to watch, but I'm going to go Svitolina in 3. Next up, Elena Rybakina against Kalinskaya. And I said leading up to this championships that Rybakina hadn't been in great form in 2024. She'd withdrew from her last event where she didn't play well and she looked all over the place. But I did say that she had the weapons to come and blow everyone apart at this Wimbledon Championships, which we saw a couple of years ago. And so far, she's passed with flying colours. You know, 6-love, 6-1 against Caroline Wozniacki is about as good a win as you can get in the 3rd round of a major. And the fact that Sabalenka and Swiatek are out has meant that Rybakina is definitely a favourite to win this Wimbledon title now, probably alongside Coco Gauff. She's turned up in top form. You know, the serve, return, a forehand are all firing, and she's very, very difficult to negate. You know, there's a lot of players in this draw with big ground strokes, but with variety, with good defence, with counter punching, you can sort of negate that a little bit. But with Rybakina, when she gets on top of the baseline, hitting the forehand flat, serving at 120 plus, there's no one really in the world that can defend against those ground strokes. And we've seen so far this week that she's hitting the ball really cleanly with real conviction, really clear-minded. Seems like she's come here in top form, in you know, peaked, wants the Wimbledon title again, and she's very, very capable. Kalinskaya is a player that unfortunately I haven't seen this week. She's yet to drop a set. I'm shocked at how few aces and net points she's won in a good way. You know, when you look at the stats at Wimbledon, you often see, you know, majority of the points won at the net or unreturned first serves. Kalinskaya is being the opposite. She also hasn't hit many unforced errors, which is great. She's capable of extending rallies, defending well. But as I've said, I think that's very tough to do against Elena Rybakina. You can't really ignore the form of Kalinskaya. She's become a top 20 player. She's been solid, in the last 18 months. She's yet to drop a set. And I think she could take a set off Rybakina here. But ultimately, I think the power, the clean strike and the serve of Rybakina will be too much for Kalinskaya to overcome. And I'm going to go with Elena Rybakina in 3 sets. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments with who you think will win Wimbledon title, or if you've got any predictions for the last 16. I will be bringing out a video to preview the women's last 8, semi-finals and finals, so keep an eye out on those. The men's last 16 videos coming out as well very soon. Hopefully before play starts in the men's draw at 12:30. Please enjoy Wimbledon, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.